What is going on, DPL fans out there? Welcome back to another video of mine. I'm Mr. Josh. I'll be bringing you my first Pokemon video in terms of battling in a long time. Last time I did this was when I did my spin dot thing that I wanted to do and end up doing only one video. Shocker, me only doing one video of a season. Yeah, and obviously I can't guarantee anything on this one, but this has a little more stake to it. So I have a feeling that this is gonna, go on throughout the entire course of the season. But yeah, for you guys who are brand new to my channel, been playing Pokemon for longer than I would like to admit. But so as a result, I try to flex my incredibly small penis on my opponents. So here we go. Let's just do this thing. So yeah, we were drafted in DPL to Zero Fox Given. It was kind of cool. It was a pleasure. Actually getting drafted was a pog. I wasn't sure if I was going to, especially at the point of the draft where I was at. It was like almost done basically. I was like, shit, I think I really just didn't go because I didn't apply season 1 because I didn't know it existed. And season 2, everybody was like, damn, this is hype as fuck. So I applied and I made it. So yeah, long story short, my first opponent is LL of the Jerry team. That's basically all I know. And I'm actually going to be, well, I guess I could say broadcasting, but I'm going to be commentating over all of my teammates' battles because, spoilers, it did come down to a best of all 7. So I will be showing all 7 games and what went right, what went wrong, etc. And not really being biased, but I was the first battle to lead off the week. I think I was the 3rd battle overall in the league to start. So I guess I'll start with mine. So we had a very interesting matchup. My opponent's team consisted of Hydreigon, Infernape, Nidoking, Slowbro, Licky, Togekiss, Lantern, and Ferrothorn. Mega Slowbro, by the way, I forgot to mention that. And I did play Oraz, which is kind of cool because there's a lot of things of Oraz that is kind of, interesting and cool to me. No Tapus or Z-moves is kind of obviously the big one. Obviously, things are a lot bulkier because you don't have a nuke button. And the wall breakers are a lot more valuable. At this point I haven't even touched Auras since I think I did a Christmas laddering team thing with a Mega Abomasnow and OU. That shit was fun. But that was back in like 2016 when Sun and Moon came out. I played some Auras in the winter. So yeah, now it's 2019 June, and obviously times are different. So here we go. Yeah, this team is very interesting and threatening because he has a Hydreigon, which outspeeds my almost everything besides the Lopunny and very fast Zapdos, which realistically doesn't make a lot of sense. And besides Lopunny, just shits on my team. Like he can bring Specs, he can bring Taunt for my my Crocodile. And Zapdos too. If he's like Spadef with Taunt, Roost, and Dark Pulse, it's just a nuisance. Not to mention if he's just offensive. Like I did a couple mocks for this. I know Sweat Mode. I actually did some mocks. Cool. One of my opponents brought Specs. My other opponent brought Life Orb Taunt. Oh no, just Life Orb Bruise, I think. Which both are very, very big threats. So I was like, okay. Infernape, my captains didn't draft a water type on this team, a Lamau. So as a result, this team doesn't have a water type. And my opponent has an Infernape, which means Flare Blitz is neutral or super effective against everybody. Which is awesome. You gotta love it when that happens. So if he brings back an Infernape with Flare Blitz, it's totally understandable. Because my only real switch in would be either super defensive Crook or just Lopunny to kill it. So yeah, that's also a thing. He has a Mega Slowbro and I have a Mega Lopunny, so that's not fun because realistically speaking, that just walls my Lopunny forever. If he brings like T-Wave or Toxic, it's a threat. And not to mention, I just don't beat it down. I could be like Toxic, Sub, Protect, but then I just don't really do well against the rest of his team. Don't get me wrong. Besides Ferrothorn, his whole team gets rocked by Lopunny, but it just didn't seem reliable. And honestly, I was like, shit, this is like kind of a threat. At the time, my captains were like, this is probably the worst matchup of every team, including the Sun and Moon Auras lineup, which is something to note for sure. So I was like, okay, we're gonna make the best of what we got. So I teamed up with Mayo, and we just sat down, thought of some sets, and we put it on the table, and here we go. Sorry about rambling. I just, had to put that all together, put the thought process of the team, because I love my teammates, dude. My teammates are like my brothers. Like I would suck their penises, dude. They're just that close to me. But yeah, first Pokemon was Kieran Black. Absolutely, we knew that this Pokemon had to come because he very, very much does not like appreciating. He does not like to switch into any moves in this Pokemon. His best switch would be like Spadef Licky Licky, which takes like 60 from Focus Blast because Ramada's Life Orb's max special attack. So therefore he takes a ton. And obviously if he gets chipped and we land a Focus Blast, the Licky Licky is dead. Not to mention like Ice Beam plus Focus, just Ice in general, like Hydra dies, Nido dies, Slowbro takes that into Shadow Ball and it basically dies. Togekiss dies, Ferrothorn takes like 35 to 40 depending on the spread. Like overall, it was a very interesting idea to build the team because our main concern was just breaking his walls. Like his offense is obviously very scary. There's not much I can do about that. But obviously, if we couldn't break his walls, then we wouldn't have a shot. So we had to look at that and just go from there. And obviously, with Kiro Black being the wall breaker it is, it can obviously break down his team. Which support with Heal Bell on the Licky Licky was another reasoning why Toxic wouldn't really work in this game because you can just consistently pivot to Licky Licky on a lot of my Pokemon, really. Like 4 out of 6 of them, realistically speaking, because I can't taunt Licky Licky because it gets oblivious, so that's always fun. But nonetheless, very bulky 3 attacks, and I think it's just no speed to outspeed a slightly speed invested Nidoking that might be trying to creep just a no speed here in black, which honestly was probably the best benchmark, as well as Togekiss if it decides to be bulkier. Because I didn't expect a Speedy Kiss because I got a Zapdos, and I think as a result, Scarf made very little sense. But then, during the battle, I was like, wow, if Zapdos dies and he's Scarf, I lose to Scarf Kiss. So that was something in the back of my mind. Next is Zapdos. We got a very bulky Spadef Zapdos because he has a Hydreigon. And if he decides to bring Life Orb, this is my best switch in. Like I said, Taunt is a thing, so if he does like Dark Pulse me twice into the Taunt, that's going to suck really badly. But yeah, Roost 3 attacks, classic Zapdos set. Heat Wave for the Ferrothorn if he does bring it. Thunderbolt for everything that's not named Hydreigon and Nidoking and Ferrothorn, I guess. But we have HPIs for the Hydreigon and the Ferrothorn. I mean, and Hydreigon and the Nidoking, excuse me. So overall, Zapdos just has a very, very good matchup in this game. I brought Static because I wasn't bringing Defog, so obviously I was able to run Static Zapdos, which is kind of heat. Also, something I forgot about Gen 6 that was really gay was Hidden Power with the IVs. I did a mock battle with like HP Dragon Zapdos because of what my IVs were, so I had to make sure that was fixed before the battle, which is pretty epic. But yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. My only rule switch into Hydra. I could take a hit from Infernape, but if it's Bandit after Rocks, I die to Flare Blitz. And I have to hope for a 30% static to punish it, otherwise it just rocks me. Speaking of such, Dusclops is the our Infernape switch, and if it's choiced, we get to just send it in, and if it's banded, we're going to find out if I take 40-some% from Flare Blitz. If he's special, I'm very specially defensive invested, so I take very little. So I'm a very effective check to Nidoking. I can take a hit from Togekiss very well. Lantern doesn't even bother me. Like, because I could have obviously just ran max his def to really handle a physical Infinite, which is what I expected. But I like the opportunity of handling special hits from Nidoking. I could potentially Pain Split on it. And this Pokemon Pain Splits on a lot of Pokemon. Pain Splits on Ferrothorn, Pain Splits on Slowbro, Pain Splits on Togekiss, Pain Splits on Licky Licky. Quite a bit of Pokemon, really. Taunt Hydra does completely shut me down, which there's not much I can do about that. That's just the way it goes. But nonetheless, it's actually a decent Pokemon, this matchup. Taunt for the Ferrothorn, and with 25 base speed, I do outspeed the Ferrothorn, luckily. So I don't have to do any weird speed creeps for that thing. And I can just taunt it. It prevents him from getting Spiked or Leech Seed and Stealth Rock. He can knock me off, obviously, if he has it, but realistically, I would prefer to taunt and then go from there. This is a very, this is probably the best set of the team, I won't lie. 100% credit to Mayo on this set, but this is well, first of all, I think like a week prior, I saw Greg bring us Max Spadef Crocodile for a Mega Lottie, and it took like 50 from Draco, which was insane. Insane as in like it took it that well. But yeah, Spadef Crocodile is it's a very decent Hydro check. With Superpower, I do like 60-70% to it, which is really good, and I take very little from Draco Meteor. Not to mention, I handle Pokemon such as Nidoking too. I can take an Ice Beam if need be, but I don't have Earthquake because we discussed it. I discussed it with Mayo, and he was like, yeah, dude, realistically, Earthquake is only for the Nidoking, and we have plenty of Pokemon to handle that thing, so I think we just drop it, and I was like, I agree. So we were able to add Toxic, which is good for Slowbro, it's good for Licky Licky, if we're able to stall out Heal Bells, it's good for Togekiss because I get wall by that thing too. With Toxic plus knockoff to get rid of leftovers, it gets whittled down pretty easily. So yeah, this Pokemon is a very good Pokemon against this team, just as a utility Pokemon. Next is Spike's Roserade. I should go over this, but yeah, Hazard Stack is definitely the idea of winning this game. Why I'm not Technician for HP Fire, don't ask. I got paralyzed by a body slam in a mock battle, and I kept Natural Cure because I accidentally had it in the mock and it saved me, so I was like, fuck it, dude, I'm just gonna keep it in case it happens again. But realistically, I should have been Technician, but yeah, it was fine. Nonetheless, for Spike's 3 attacks, because this does put in a tremendous amount of work against this team, because I outspeed the fat shit, and I take a hit from Hydro if need be. I blow into the King of Leaf Storm, I blow away Slowbro with Leaf Storm, Licky takes a decent amount from Leaf Storm, like 50%, 55%, if he smacks Bidef. Tokus dies, Lantern dies, Ferrothorn takes a chunk, even though I do expect Aqua Berry if it does bring it. Nonetheless, this Pokemon's very good, and I very much pressure a lot of his team with Spikes, and his only way of removal in Gen 6 is Togekiss, because luckily Hydreigon does not get Defog in Generation 6, so that's always fun. Then lastly is a pretty standard Mega Lopunny. We are double priority for the Infinite, because realistically that could be a big threat if it's like set up with Mach Punch or Vacuum Wave, whatever said respective setup it would decide to go with, or just Choice Banding Mach Punch would be a very big threat. So we decided to go with the Fake Out Quick Attack set. Together does like almost 50, standard Fake Out Quick Attack stuff for frail shit. And yeah, it's about the whole team. This is gonna be a movie, dude. Oh my gosh. For those who do decide, I'll put the timestamps for the battles if that's all you care about. But anyways, let's just go over the team. He decided not to bring Ferrothorn or Lantern. Lantern was not a shocker. Lantern was pretty terrible. I had a Kira Black. I had a Crocodile, I had a Roserade. Even Zapdos can beat it with Toxic, so I did not expect Lantern. It didn't come in any mocks, and yeah. Ferrothorn did come in one, and it was Aqua Berry. And Togekiss came in the other one, and honestly, I expected Ferrothorn over Togekiss, so I expected no way to defog. But he actually does have the defog Togekiss potentially, so I did have to keep that in mind. So besides that, pretty much what I expected. Like, Lead Hydra was the thing. Lead Hydra was in both games, so I expected that throughout the course of this, this battle. So, we'll just, let me just make sure it's on normal. Get a potential way to click pause and such, and let's start the battle. Let's just start off with my lead process. So, I lead with the Crocodile. For some, I really don't get the thought process of not clicking taunt immediately if he has it. So I get to find out for one if he does have it. If he does have it, I get to hit him with the superpower, and from there I can force him to ruse. I can knock off his item, and then at that point my taunt would be worn off, and I can potentially pressure him from there. Is what I was thinking. And if he's not taunt, I get my Stealth Rock up here. It's as simple as that. And the Edgy just drops the Draco immediately, and the damage does show he's max special attack, timid, not modest. So I was like, okay, that's good to keep in mind. But obviously, that took it, like, for a max special attack Draco, I took it very well. And I guess I shouldn't spoil this, but I should at the same time. He was also Draco Plate, so I took that extremely well considering the circumstance. I just get my stuff locked up. So I at this point, I was thinking he might be Scarf, because the damage didn't show boosting at him, so I guess he might have gotten a lower roll with the Draco Plate. It's my guess personally. But the Draco Meteor showed max special attack timid, and he just went for it straight away. And looking at my team, I don't have a Dragon Resist, so I was like, honestly, I could see this being Scarf, so I'm just gonna click Toxic here, expect them to switch into a fat thing, and it was Togekiss. So I was like, okay, I get the Toxic on the Togekiss here. I'm getting healthier with my Crocodile, and I do expect him to defog here if he does have it, because he doesn't appreciate the hazards. So I'm going to just click Knockoff. I don't expect him to just Dazzling Gleam if he has it, but I'm just kidding. I went into Zapdos because I didn't know if he was going to actually do that. This is when I decided to be aggressive, because he's not going to stay in here. He doesn't want to get his Togekiss weakened. I'm going to go right back into Crocodile as he goes into his Licky. And Licky, even without the Intimidate drop, doesn't hit me very hard with my spread. So I'm just going to get them right back up. He can go right back into Togekiss if he really wants to, but it doesn't do him a lot because he's going to be forced to Roost eventually. And with my Zapdos being very healthy with Thunderbolt, potentially, he doesn't obviously know I have it yet, but he's obviously afraid of it. It's a very big, potent threat. And speaking of such, the Infinite is on the field, and this is a very scary Pokemon. And I'm going to go into my dedicated switch-in. I just want to see what he does. If he sets up, then I know Lopunny can beat it. If he hits me and does 48% with Flare Blitz, then I can find out that he is Choice Banded max attack. He's jolly, he's not adamant, which is good to keep in mind, I guess. but I just avoided to a KO from Flare Blitz, which is insane. Like, Dusclops is a very bulky Pokemon, so the fact that this Pokemon just literally almost to a kill me with Flare Blitz is insane. So this is a free pain split essentially because all of these Pokemon are reasonably healthy. I don't expect Togekiss to come in here because if I do decide to go for Seismic Toss, it would get worn down to be under 25%. He'd be forced to Roost, and from there I can go back into my Zapdos or just continue to Seismic Toss whatever I decide to go for, and it would just be pressuring his Togekiss a lot. So I figured he would save it for later on to potentially defog. So I'm gonna make the play in pain split. If he went to Togekiss, that would have kind of sucked. As I do expect the heal bell 100%, so I'm going to go into my Rose Raid as he does go for the heal bell. Obviously, if he would have gone for Body Slam or Knockoff, that would have sucked, but... Well, he wouldn't have gone for Body Slam. He would have gone for either Knockoff or just the status move of Wish or Heal Bell. There was no other play he was making. So I knew Rose Raid was pretty safe. So I'm going to make the play here, and I'm going to go for Spike. He can't go into Togekiss on this Wish, so I know this is reasonably free. I do click Leaf Storm here. There was a scenario where... my opponent in the mock was trying to be aggressive and predicted the Sludge Bomb and went hard King. So I wanted to be aggressive and click the Leaf Storm because if he decided to make that switch, he would get punished really badly. He decides to go hard Hydra. Obviously, I could have gotten a massive amount of damage, but he would have gotten most of the HP back anyways because obviously he doesn't take spikes. But I still do a tremendous amount, but obviously Wish is going to put him back to 100. So I'm like, oh, that's sort of unfortunate. I'm going to go into my Zapdos now because I'm reasonably... For one, I'm sure he's not a taunt because he didn't click it on my Crocodile. So I'm going to go to my Zapdos, and I'm going to just chip this thing down with HP Ice. I feel like that's just my best play. I'm just kidding. I go to my Crocodile because I expect them to be... I was still thinking he was Scarf. I was still 100% thinking he was Scarf because of the way he was playing his Hydreigon. And the damage earlier showed he was max special attack, and he just clicked Draco straight away in my Crook. So I'm thinking it's Scarf. So I'm going to go to my Crocodile in the Dark Pulse thinking he's locked in. I'm going to go for a Knockoff here. No, Toxic. I go for Toxic, predicting the switch again, but he actually clicks the taunt here. So this was very interesting to me personally, because, and he clicks Dark Pulse here, so he expects me to not have the ability to touch him. I'm sorry, it's been a couple days, guys. I'm sorry about being a little bit salty. I mean, not salty. Completely wrong term, but I'm sorry about being a little off on my plays. But, yeah, I expected him to be locked in at this point. That's the way the Hydreigon was being played. And he didn't click taunt turn 1. That's what I would have expected personally if he had it. I don't know why he didn't personally. It's not like I get a move that really OHKOs him, nor do I really get a move that punishes going for taunt. So I don't know why he didn't click it. But anyways, he does decide to reveal taunt as I go for Toxic. I'm like, okay. So he's probably Roost, probably taunt, and he's dual stab. So I know the set now basically, and he goes for Dark Pulse and I can't touch him, and I go for Superpower and I do 70%, even though it says 31. So that's when my opponent decides to comment on the Crocodile set because he does understand. Yeah, he does realize now that wow, this Crook is a threat to my entire team, and I'm like, yeah, sure is. So I'm gonna play hard here. I'm gonna be aggressive, and I know he's gonna go for Roost, not Draco Meteor. So I go hard into my Lopunny. I'm gonna go for Fake Out because of Gen 6 mechanics. The Hydreigon could outspeed me if I go for Return and or High Jump Kick. I was actually low kick in this matchup. Obviously, you guys saw when I showed the team, but yeah, dual stab because low kick is good for Hydreigon. It's good for Licky, and it's good for the. It would have been good for the potential Ferrothorn, but he didn't bring it. I go for a Fake Out and I get a crit, and I didn't actually calc this at the time because I was just thinking it was max, but this is actually a very mixed defensive Slowbro. It's not by any stretch of the imagination max HP, max Def Bold, which is what we expected. Me and my teammates were like, there's no way he doesn't bring max Slowbro. It's his only answer to Lopunny. Everything else just dies, so it's interesting that he wasn't, and I do comment on that after the game. But I'm going to be aggressive here. I'm going to go into my Kieran Black as I get crit by Psyshock, which is always fun. But I'm just going to get my recovery here and go for Roost because I know he's going to switch into Licky. I could have gone for Shadow Ball, but I want to get the switch here. And he's in range of Focus Blast, even if he's max per def, so I'm going to click it here and he dies. So that couldn't have gotten any better for me. He goes into his answer. He was probably going to go for Wish there. If I would have missed, he could have protected if he had it, and that would have been very annoying. And that would have been, honestly, just very bad. But I get rid of Licky, so he's unable to heal status now if I Toxic anything else. He's unable to Wish. So Slowbro, if it gets status, is going to be status forever. Togekiss realistically can never get Wish back up. It has to Roost on my Pokemon to get healthy again. And Pokemon such as Infernape cannot get healed back by like Dusclops being on the field if Licky was able to pass a Wish to it. So this is just very good overall that this happened. So he's gonna he's going into the Infernape as he actually has to play safe here. He could have gone for Close Combat, Flare Blitz, and to kill my Dusclops. but Flare Blitz does not OHKO Kieran Black because Kieran Black is a very bulky Pokemon. Especially with the HP investment that I had, I lived Flare Blitz for sure. So he had to make the aggressive play there, which is understandable. As now he's going to go into his Nidoking. On my Toxic, I thought he was going to go into Togekiss to defog, but he did not. So I'm just going to... I know he's going to go for Stuff Rock because it's his only rocker. And I'm just going to chip this thing down. Earth Power does 33, which is awesome. That Dusclops just takes it that well. And I'm just going to sack it here, basically. I'm still alive, technically, and I know the Infernape is choiced. So if the Infernape ever decides to come in, this is my sack. So it's not a terrible, terrible option. So at this point, I'm going to keep this thing as fodder. I'm going to go to my Crocodile because this thing is it's done its thing. It doesn't really beat anything. It doesn't beat Slowbro. It doesn't really beat Togekiss. Doesn't beat Infernape, and doesn't beat this. So I could have gone for Superpower, obviously. So he has to kill me with Draco. And now this Pokemon comes in, and this play is sort of whack. I do admit this now because Return was really free. It killed everything. My Adamant Max Lopunny killed this with Return. Slowbro was in range because of the hazards, plus the fact that it's still being a normal Slowbro means that it doesn't have the 180 base defense or whatever it is. So I actually killed something with Return, and I was still playing as if it was Max Fizz Def Slowbro, so I just thought it was gonna come in and just take my hit. So I play aggressively for no reason to go to my Kieran Black, and he goes into his Togekiss, as this was gonna die to Return anyways, but I outspeed. Luckily, so he was a very min-speed Togekiss because as from the spread earlier, I had very little speed. It was for like literally a creeping 0 speed Nidoking for my Kyurem. So he was just a pretty Fizz Def Togekiss, I would imagine, or just I would imagine just Fizz Def. And it was the reason why I say this was a misplay is because now I'm in range of Fire Punch, if because of the Life Orb hit. If I didn't force this thing in here. He would be forced to click Flare Blitz, and I would be able to live a Fire Punch my Kieran Black, and I could just roost up or just claim kills. But yeah, the fact that I made that play means Kieran Black now dies to Fire Punch. So I gotta sack my Dusclops here. That's what it was kept for anyways. So I'm just gonna keep it for the sack, and at this point I look at the rest of his team. I'm like, I'm just gonna click Return, dude. If he goes Slowbro, I gotta zap those. Then that's when I realize I click Return and I do 42%. I'm like, I definitely choked earlier with that play. I put the preemptive GG in the chat because I'm like, yeah, this game's over. I'm just going to get my kills now with my Lopunny. He goes into Slowbro, takes the hazard damage, and goes for the Mega here. It's his only chance to really win, but since the original Slowbro took 42, it easily dies from 25.6. And I got the quick attack for the Infernape, and that's GG well played. So, realistically, this hazard, I mean, the game was won because of hazards. There's no other way to put it. The fact that the hazards put Licky in range of Focus Blast, that Infernape was being chipped down to be put in range of priority. It just was really, really good, and it gave us a W. So the team is up 1-0 to start the series, and I'll start going over the other battles real quick. Hopefully it doesn't take too long, but yeah, I'll start doing so right now. Let me go over the second. I'm going to go in chronological order, so I'm going to go into the second game, which is the most infamous one of the week, probably. If not one, it's definitely the most infamous for our group, and it was definitely one of the more infamous ones in general. I'll go into why. So yeah, I'm gonna pause real quick and I'll be right back. Alright, what's poppin'? We're back. We got Mayo versus Zazo. For those who couldn't understand what I was talking about already, now you know. So I don't know if I'm allowed to show sets or I guess go into it, but I'm sure they don't mind because the chances, I guess, of us. I mean, these teams are gonna. I mean, I don't know. I won't go into like specifically what they are, but let me see if I can remember most of it. We got a Zam, it's modest for the power. We got a Stealth Rocking SD Lando. Infernape is a very special set. For those who already know, it was Nasty Plot and Door Dual Stab because with the Blaze Boost, Starmie takes a ton from +2 Fire Blast, and then we got Slowbro. I think it's it's Rocky Helmet Fizz Def with Thunder Wave. We got Choice Banded Blacks for really just smacking this team. He doesn't have a normal resist, so it makes sense. Then we just have a Stun Spore, New Turning Whimsicott. Pretty normal stuff. So let's just get right into the games. So both players have the same mindset of just getting Stuff Rock up turn 1, which is completely understandable. As Mayo's gonna make the aggressive play here and go for SD, which I completely understand because it forces Zazo to make a real defensive or real awkward switch into the Sawsbuck, which I don't know why it's here actually. I don't know why he brought the Sawsbuck, but it takes 66 from the Earthquake, and it has lefties. And then he goes into Zard. I don't know why he didn't just do this to begin with, honestly, because it forces the Landers out anyways. Because Zard X's Flare Blitz would kill Landers from there. So we're gonna go into our dedicated switching, the good old Slowbro, as he takes Flare Blitz recoil plus Rocky Helmet, which is very, very essential because now he's in range of Stealth Rock. As we're gonna go for T-Wave now, as he goes into the Natural Cure Starmie, which is pretty unfortunate. And it does force us out because we really don't touch this. But we're going to go into our CB Snorlax because realistically we could just really just force the kill here because he doesn't have a switch in. As he's going to just sack the Sawsbuck. I guess he just needed 5 Pokemon plus a sack. So I guess Sawsbuck makes a lot of sense. Not thinking about it. As he's not going to go into the Charizard. As Zazo definitely just thinks for a normal Snorlax set because he's only seen as Quick Return. And realistically expecting a Choice Banded Snorlax is very unnatural unless that's what he was prepping for when doing mocks or just prepping in general. So he just clicked Roost. I don't disagree with this play on Zazo, but obviously it should punish him, but we don't get the roll. Mayo was telling me that, yeah, this was a roll, and if he got the roll, he would have been in a fantastic position because for one, we'd be up 6-4 with realistically no chip on the Snorlax, and realistically he wouldn't have a Pokemon to switch in here to actually kill this. Raikou would just like pretty much die. Krookodile. We have a realistically a Slowbro 4. We have an Infernape. We have Whimsicott. Like we would have just been in a really good spot because Snorlax would still be healthy, but we actually don't kill him. And so Mayo makes a pretty good play as he goes into the Slowbro, predicting the very offensive move on the Charizard, and we kill it with the Rocky Helmet. But the problem is now that Slowbro is a lot more chipped than it should be. It was forced to take 63% because the Stealth Rock was Outrage for realistically no reason because we just didn't get the roll. So now we have a very chipping Slowbro, and we're going to have a sort of weakened Snorlax. And Raikou now becomes a bigger problem. So we have to go into our Whimsicott as he goes for Volt Switch because obviously that killed Slowbro. It's looking like an AV Raikou because it's not Spec, it's not Orb. And realistically speaking, when you have a Mega Zam on the other side, AV makes a tremendous amount of sense. Because we weren't going to bring Psyshock here. Psychic made a lot of sense for hitting Charizard much harder. It hits Clefable decently harder, etc., etc. As he goes hard Clefable, which is interesting. And, well, yeah, we can't really touch Clefable. So we're going to go back into our Snorlax. And this was sort of a misplay because Mayo expected the Clefable to switch out in this turn. So he's just going to click Return because he doesn't have a normal resist. But he actually doesn't. He clicks Return instead. If he Heavy Slammed, I think it actually killed Clefable straight up, and that would have just put us in a much better position. But nope, we're still in a good position. We're up 6-4. There's realistically a lot that we can do to work around our situation. But yeah, not getting the kill on the Clefable with the Heavy Slam sort of sucks because we could have easily done so. Obviously, it forces it could bring in almost all this Pokemon, but Snorlax would have done its job at that point. You know what I mean? So. It's unfortunate, as he's gonna make the switch into Snorlax. Into Krookodile. This does show offensive Krookodile. We were expecting a more defensive one because that's what Zaza's known for, but he looks like it's a Scarf offensive Krookodile for Alakazam, which is understandable. As now we're gonna go into our Whimsicott to U-turn, but he's gonna go into his Raikou. It takes very little, obviously, because it's a U-turn from Whimsicott. As looks like Mayo's just gonna pull the trigger here. Like he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go for Nasty Play. I don't get O-code by Raikou, and I guess his damage was showing that +2 Blaze boosted Fire Blast would kill, which it's understandable. It's very strong. As he goes hard Clefable, and yeah, he's not gonna go into the Starmie. As this is when the shit comes into play. So. Our damage was showing that max HP Starmie would definitely. I think it takes like 80 +2. It takes like 70 something 80 from +2 Blaze boosted Fire Blades. But the only problem here, and we should have known from this Fire Blast damage from the +2, was that it did 41%, which means that he's not HP invested. He's actually Spin-Def invested. Like his EVs went into raw special defense. I don't know if it was just for the situation because realistically. That would be for like Zam, but even then it still takes a lot from Mod Shadow Ball, so I don't really know why. If this was for the situation he was planning, then it's really fantastic prep on Zaza's part, obviously. But and not to mention, Mayo was playing on 3G Wi-Fi, so he was already sort of on tilt. As a result, I wouldn't blame him. So this does put us in an unfortunate position. As we're gonna go for Endure, thinking we just killed this thing, and I thought we did too. I was like hyped as fuck in the chat. And then Fire Blast obviously fails to kill because his spread allowed for him to live from that range. And we lose our Infernip, and now it's 4-4. After it was just 6-4, pretty good for us earlier. We're in a bad spot, as now we actually don't outspeed the Starmie because he's faster than a modest Zam, and we get burned, which is really bad because we're going to go down to 50 because of burn mechanics. Here comes the Crocodile. I thought he was going to switch here, but he actually decides to sack the Mega Zam for no reason. So now we're down 3. We're 3-3 now, but I'm looking at the Raccoon. I'm looking at our team. I'm like, fuck, we lose because Lando's going to die to HPIs for not Yachi. Snorlax is in range of just a Thunderbolt. Excuse me. And yeah, Whimsicott's in range of HPIs now at this point. So this isn't looking too good, but he's actually going to go into Raccoon here. As we just Moonblast pretty freely. But yeah, that damage is definitely just AV. And at this point, we're like, well, we definitely lose a Pokemon here. Let's just go into Snorlax and sack it. Create HPS doesn't kill, but obviously we're in range of any move as he decides to Volt Switch. And at this point, I'm like, yep, it's pretty much over. This Clefable could have been dead, and obviously that would have helped a lot, but yeah. We're going to go for the Paralysis here on the Clefable, as he actually goes for the same thing. Yeah, Great Mind Instinct alike. Let's just go for the magic move that doesn't miss in Gen 6. Yes, guy has the right idea. Oh my. Double T-Wave. Gotta love it. So yeah, Mayo's gonna play off the fact that Lando could possibly win here with the fact that it could maybe live a Raikou, and we might have been Yachi Berry. I'm not even sure. But yeah, we killed the Clefable here, and then he goes into Crocodile, and Crocodile is gonna just do its thing. We died a knockoff. We were Yachi Berry, and yeah, okay. So Mayo was saying that if we killed the Clefable, we might have had a chance. I really don't know how. I'm sure he explained more. But I was pretty bummed out about this loss because obviously people see Zazo as like Jesus with a 12-inch penis, but like we had him in the throat, but he was able to win it, which is unfortunate because now the series is 3. I mean, it's 1-1 with a 2-0 win in Zazo's favor. So, yeah. But it's okay. We still got potentially 3 more games to win it. We just won the series, so we got some pretty talented players on the squad. So. Yeah, I'll go over to the next game in chronological order, so yeah, I'll be right back. Alright, what's poppin', guys? We got the third battle here. We got High Jump Sean versus Johnny Risepool. Classic Johnny versus, yeah, we got Sean. Yeah, we got Mr. I think he got 5th place in Nationals in High Jump, you know, appropriate for the name. So, yeah, pretty cool guy. Yeah, I helped him mock a couple times, so I have a good idea of what this team is. Yeah, he's got a Spikes, Klefki, I believe that's Rocky. Yeah, Rocky Helmet, Steelix. Landers T is just Z move, if I forget what Z move exactly. Assault Vest, Reuniclus of Knockoff and Thunder, and just moves to attack. And then we got the Mega Zam. The Mega Zam was an interesting set brought up by K-Crick. He Charge Beam, Recover, and some other moves. I forget what the other ones are, but Charge Beam was meant to just boost alongside Vullaby if we decided for it to be our answer. Vullaby actually becomes set of fodder, and we just get up as many boosts as we want until he switches, and then from there we just attack stuff. I believe we don't really touch me with the Zam set, but nonetheless, we can still get the boost with Charge Beam, and we still hit him really hard because we just don't make a Zam. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Let me just put this to normal as switch sides real quick and reset and start. All right, cool. We're gonna lead with the thing that just gets spikes up because the whole idea here again was to just get hazards up, common theme with us. We just like our hazards, as we get the spike up immediately and we're forced out. But we have an Assault Vest Reuniclus for all the special attackers, whether it's Greninja, whether it's Nidoking, Tapu Fini, or Mew. This Pokemon's gonna handle it pretty well, so it's good to keep this thing around. He's gonna go into Vullaby. Good play on Sean. He's gonna click knockoff, and he's actually weak armor Vullaby, which is interesting. We don't really have a lot of physical attackers, so I'm interested in why he was weak armor specifically. I guess any other ability was kind of useless. There was really no weather, so Overcoat's kind of useless and such. So I mean, I guess it's a good bring for situations like this. So now he's a much faster Pokemon. He's gonna U-turn. Now he's gonna taunt. I'm just kidding. Taunt's predicting the switch into the Klefki, which is really well played. As now he's gonna go for a U-turn. Does he get the chip here? Yep. Rocky Helmet Steelix put in that thing. As he's gonna go into Mew, and if anybody knows Johnny and he knows his Mew, he likes to run the single taunt and he likes to run it really bulky. And looking at the team that we have, that's gonna be a very big threat because Ice Beam is definitely on the Mew, no doubt about it. As he's gonna just taunt pretty freely, as he's gonna go into the Greninja, and he makes a very good play in Signal Beams. So he actually does have the coverage to hit the Greninja, and now Greninja is in range of 2 rounds of Stealth Rock. So just like that, Greninja is already pretty much down for the count, and Greninja is a very big threat to his team because of Gunk Shot. We hit Finny very hard, we can hit the Scissor very hard, we hit Nidoking hard. We expected his Grand to be Scarf for our Mechazam, and just in general, it outspeeds a lot of stuff. Obviously, our own Granite can U-turn on, it can hit the Reuniclus pretty hard if U-turn if it decides to switch in, and Hydro hits his whole team really hard. Besides Greninja, which isn't really a water resist, we don't have any water resist, so therefore, yeah, Scarf Greninja made the most sense on his side. As yeah, Johnny's gonna go hard on top of Finny. As Sean makes the good play and he clicked Gunk Shot, but it doesn't really do him anything because it does less than half, even after Spike, which is very unfortunate. As it's just gonna go for Protector on our U-turn, and obviously sort of 50-50 on what's gonna happen here. As Sean makes the right call and it does double U-turn on the switch, which is a very good play. As now we're able to go in our Steelix and we're able to do stuff. As the Scissor is just gonna roost as we Gyro Ball. We do have Fire Fang on this thing, and I guess he just expected Ricepool to scout for it and go into like Tapu Fini, I guess. But Ricepool just decides to root. If we would have Fire Fang, we obviously would have done a tremendous amount to the Scissor. But we show it now, so now Ricepool has a read on our set on what we could be. As I believe, yeah, this is where he finds out that we're not Magic Guard because we didn't take any chip before. And nothing actually hit us because there was a Nidoking on the field. So now he knows our set. He definitely knows we're just the AV set. Because normally if you see a Reuniclus take chip, it's because it's AV most of the time. As he's going to go in and double the Klefki. Some stuff happening. As the Klefki, what does it decide to do? Let me see. He decides to, get the light screen up. I guess he was predicting the special attacker to come here. The Nidoking. He was predicting the Nidoking to come in here to just punish the Klefki because that's what most poison types do. So yeah, the Finny's gonna protect us. We go for the HP Fire, predicting the Scizor switching as he just protects. As he's gonna go into Mew now. As we knock off, so we get rid of the Mew's nothing because I think I don't know. I guess it might be Z. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, we go into Dark Pulse on the Scizor and we fire Hidden Power Fire. So Scissor's now dead. That's cool. So now we're up 6-5, but he goes into his obviously Scarf Greninja to U-turn. So Sean knows very well. All of his opponents press Scarf U-turn mock, so he definitely knows to expect it. Here comes Nidoking to terrorize us as we actually go for Light Screen. As he goes for Stealth Rock, we go into a Reuniclus with AV plus Light Screen. We're taking no types of damage, but this Nidoking decides to actually have double hazards, which is a very good bring on Ricepool's part because expecting a more defensive approach to the Nidoking, it allows for him to potentially get the status on our Pokemon while getting Stealth Rock up with probably just dual stab. So very good bring. Sean tries to predict the Vullaby to come in, but the Mew just comes in here instead. Yeah, this is a misclick to actually go into Klefki. He didn't want to, so I guess he just makes the best of it. Goes for double spikes and dies to Earth Power, so Klefki is not dead, which means no more screens are going to come around, which is unfortunate, but the Tapu Fini realistically default for free most of the time. As now we go for Earthquake and die to Ice Beam, so the bait works on Ricepool's part. We lose our Landorus T now, which is very bad because I actually put in a tremendous amount of work. As now we're just going to go into Alakazam, and we get the kill, but now he goes back into Scarf Greninja. We could take the U-turn if we really wanted to, but there's realistically no reason to. As we're just going to sack our own Greninja to the U-turn. As now here comes Vullaby. We really don't have a switch into this thing, but this is where we have the secret tech. We have the secret tech of the Charge Beam set. As if we're able to get enough boost on this, we will beat it 1v1. As he does U-turn and he goes into... Now we're double in speed. So now the Greninja doesn't actually outspeed us anymore, which is awesome. But we missed the Charge Beam, and he's going to go for Ice Beam, the Ice Beam, which does 0, by the way. So yeah, he would Z-move, that's why it did no damage. As we're just going to go for Recover to try to beat this thing, but he taunts. We go for Charge Beam, miss again, and then we die. So... yeah, that really sucked because we needed the chip. But with that, there's really no chance to win as he can just stall us out forever. This shit gets very boring. Very boring shit with AV Reuniclus plus Steelix. We just slowly get beat down with Taunt. yeah, Steelers gets frozen by Ice Beam, and then he just double single beams to beat us. We lose 2-0 to Rice Bowl. A lot of unfortunate stuff didn't go our way. A lot of unfortunate stuff went our way. As a result, we lost. This game was actually pretty boring, I won't lie, but it was only because of the unfortunate circumstances. The weak armor on the user was really cool because it meant Greninja didn't switch in, which is like pretty badass. But with that, we are now down 1-2 as a team. So yeah, we got a rebound. So I'm gonna go to the next game. So I'll possibly be right back. And bada bing, bada boom, we're back, and yeah, we have game 4 between Damos W and Jake. I think Damos is our most expensive player that we have on our team. Bought for 20.5k. So yeah, we got stuff on the line here. Yeah, we got a rain team, and we got Jake, who's pretty good. So let's just get right into this thing. We have a Mega Scizor, pretty standard stuff. We have a Specs Omastar, Life Orb, Iron Tail, Tornadoes for the Gardevoir, probably nothing tactical to it. Yachi, Stealth Rock, SD Garchomp for Zapdos. Assault Vest, Stick Fat, Hariyama. So I guess Stick Fat because we had a Weavile better that way. And then we have a pretty Spadef, Drizzle, Quillfish, Politoed for the Omastar support. Because looking at his team, he doesn't have any water resist, Quillfish doesn't really count, and from there he doesn't have any. So if we can get the rain up and spam Surf, we can realistically win. Did he have Hydro Pump in this thing? He did. Okay, I'll keep that in mind just for the future. But anyways, we're gonna lead with the Politoed as he goes for the Gardevoir lead, as he actually gets the rain for us, which is a pretty nice thing for him to do. As we're just gonna stay in here because this is actually our answer for this thing, because Gardevoir actually kind of fists our team. Because without Bullet Punch to really kill the Gardevoir, we don't have a way to kill it. As he actually goes for the Wish here as we go for just the rest. I guess he predicted the Hyper Voice into the burn, so he just wanted to get the HP up. As we were not actually Sleep Talk, we just need the rest obviously to keep rain longevity. Gen 6 stings only. As we just we double switch. Obviously, Jake gets a better opportunity here with the double. I'm not sure what he was getting with the Scizor switch. He might have just predicted the Weavile to come in to take advantage of the Sleeping Politoed's knockoff. But even so, he had a Scizor that he could have swapped into to begin with. So I don't know why he went hard into it. If any, it would be for Garchomp getting stuff like that. But Jake gets a really good advantage and goes Zapdos instead, which also was a very good opportunity. As yeah, Scizor doesn't break the Zapdos sub, so we gotta burn Yachi immediately. As we're just gonna eat the Yachi berry up, yummy, yummy, yummy. As we're actually gonna go for the Stealth Rock here. Good play on Damos' part to understand that Zapdos isn't gonna stay in here. As now we're gonna go for the SD as he goes for Jake goes for spikes, and then we go for Earthquake and we crit him. But we're +1 and it's a Quillfish, so I don't know if it actually lived. I'm sure it might have. According to Jake, it did, but I sincerely doubt it did. But this is when shit gets like sort of dicey because he goes for Icicle Crash, and not only does he miss Icicle Crash, but we hit a Stone Edge instead of going for Earthquake. Zapdos I think just dies to Stone Edge anyways, so why he made such a play was sort of whack. But we get rewarded for it as we killed a Weavile. Weavile was a pretty big threat, but I mean even so we had Scizor and Hariyama, which hard walls. So. But nonetheless, that blows. As he's gonna go into his own Garchomp, and we actually lose the speed tie here. As I don't know if +2 Earthquake killed, but if it did, we won on the spot. Bar if we land Stone Edge afterwards. So I mean, we could have actually 6-0'd on the spot if we won the tie, but we did get very lucky against that Weavile. So I guess we can't complain. As now we're just gonna go into the Scizor, and we actually U-turn here, and we put this Garchomp perfectly in range of a Salac Berry because of a crit, which is actually very, very unfortunate. As Dobbles now, I guess he doesn't want to take the hit, so he goes into turn on EQ, but then we die to Dragon Claw. This Pokemon was very, very good, so I don't know why we sacked it immediately, but we do. And Jake understands we're going to go for Bullet Punch. We have no other choice in the matter, so he gets easy switch into his Hariyama, Heatran. As now we go into Hariyama, he gets a Stealth Rock up. So Hazard's late game with Gardevoir is a very big threat. So, but we do have the Omastar, and we doesn't have the Quillfish anymore, so Surf is looking ready to just win. So I'm sure that's what Dom was thinking in the back of his head. We get burned by close combat, so we actually fail to kill him because we're not Guts. But it doesn't really matter. Like, I think this is okay. He's just gonna sack the Hariyama basically here. As we actually we went for Stun and failed to kill Ilamau. That's we're gonna go on a Polytone now, and we just fought the rain up, and now we're gonna go back into Hariyama second, and this is when we go into our Alma Star, and we are going to clean up because as you can see, Gardevoir is at 70%. We're choice specs in the rain. There's no way this doesn't kill, so we're just gonna go for it, and we failed to kill. So obviously Dom was wanting to go for the non-risk play here, which was the Hydro Pump could miss, so therefore I'm going to go for Surf. And well, we failed to kill the Gardevoir with choice specs Surf. If we went for Hydro Pump and landed all of them, obviously we won. And thinking about it, that was probably the play. But we failed to kill with Surf, and we die. And at this point, this Atlas comes in here and just wins. It subs up on the Scizor. Scizor can't break, and it just beats us down. So, very unfortunate way to end this game. We got incredibly lucky and it still wasn't enough, which is actually kind of sad. But we also lost the speed tie, so what can we do? Blame it on the tie. Easiest thing to do. But yeah, as you can tell, we are now down 3-1, and obviously a team only needs 4 wins to win the series, so we are looking pretty fucked. But we have a pretty resilient team to bring this back, so it's not like we're completely out of it. But statistically, according to a game of odds, this is obviously very dicey. But I believe in the members of our team because we don't give zero fucks. So I'm gonna go on to the next battle. So I'll pause it here. All right, boys, the comeback is now. As we got Metal Fritter versus Jarrett. I could have played Jarrett this week, which is actually pretty funny, but I hate playing Jarrett, so I'm also glad I didn't play him. Yeah, so let me just go over the team. We got Wakan, Sledge Wave, Coco for the bait. I love it. We have a normal Rest, Maffy in the rain with Surf and such. We got Ferrothorn with the Pinch Berry. We got Mimikyu, who does normal Mimikyu stuff. I forget if we were Z-Moon on that thing or if we were just Life Orb. Either way, we're just offensive Mimikyu. Normal stuff. Mega Swampert with Sledge Wave for Fizz Def Tangrowth, and we also got a Pelipper. So yeah, let's just get right into this game as we decide to lead off with the Torrentee because wants to get the bait off on the Coco immediately. As Fritter actually stays in here and makes him look very aggressive here, but he was actually just going for the bait from the beginning. As we don't actually have Grass Knot on this Pokemon for the Swampert, so we're just gonna go into Pelipper and start chipping this thing down. As he starts going for Scalds, does 21% to our Pelipper, which is very, very insane considering. But with the rain up and such, Pelipper is going to be taking a lot. Swampert also outspeeds us, which is kind of a no-go, but I mean, what are you gonna do? As we put him in Torrent range and he does 34% in the rain, now we're Scald, which is crazy. But we now go into our Manaphy, which is the play we should have done a while ago to not stall rain, turns out. I'm very confused about why we didn't. But we just killed off the Swampert, so now we're up 6-5. Good start for us, but this wouldn't be the first time we were up 6-5 and things went awry, so we gotta be a little careful here. As he goes into Tangrowth, Metal Fritter just, he expected his death for sure. So the way he brings it in does show that he is obviously sped def. So that does mean that if we do have Ice Punch on the Swampert, we do a lot more to it. But I think our move of choice is Sledge Wave. So we're going to be doing very little to this. As he actually knocks off our Wakamber, so obviously if Jarrett didn't know, the cat's definitely out of the bag now. As we crit Heatran into range of HP ground, which is a meme. So now Heatran's dead. But with against a raid team, Heatran wasn't going to be doing too much either way. So now he's going to go into Coco as he goes for Nature's Madness. Very good play on Jarrett's part, but he has to be playing sort of aggressive now. He understands we don't have a Wakamber, so we got to make that play. And I'm not sure if Jarrett made another aggressive play here, but he hard Medicham on the Ferrothorn that was on the field. I guess predicting the Pelipper, because obviously it would kill with Zen Headbutt. As this is the most juiced play of the game, as I guess Metal forgot the electric terrain was up. We could have gotten a rain boost and Surf and just smash this Medicham, but we don't. So we lose our Manaphy. I'm not sure if that was a speed tie, but either way, that's very unfortunate. As we can just fire off 3 Hurricanes now. He doesn't have a switch in. He can go into Coco if he wants, but it's going to be taking a lot. As we actually get the Confusion here, so very lucky with Hurricane Confusion so far, but not like Metal's going to risk it, as luckily he doesn't because Ferrothorn's going to be taking 12%. We're getting ever so close to that Pinch Berry range, which is what, it's the goal. And obviously we don't want to take this knockoff potentially, but Jarrett's going to make a very good play here. As Obviously, he was predicting the just knockoff play and get a free as Hurricane, but Jared makes a very good play and goes hard Coco. But we go into Swamper and we just eat that T-Bolt for breakfast, so it's really not a problem. But obviously, we got to scout for Grass Knot, so we go into Pelipper and he does have the Grass Knot. And I think we double again here into Ferrothorn, and he Thunderbolts here, and that puts us in range of our Pinch Berry, so now we're back to 71%. So we're looking pretty okay now with this Ferrothorn, and we're just going to do Ferrothorn stuff. We double in the Swampert, and this is not favorable. So we go back into Torn, and Jared doesn't make a triple switch, or whatever that was at this point. So we could just get another free-ass Hurricane, but I guess Fritter had enough, and he goes for Sludge Wave instead. Which wasn't exactly the play I thought he would go for. That Hurricane was just pretty free, because it seems that the Coco does not have. Yeah, Coco does not have Roost, so any chip is permanent. But he goes for Sludge Wave and gets very lucky and gets a 10% poison. So I guess it worked out for him in the end, but I don't know. That play was that play was a little too iffy. But Jared makes another good play. Doubles hard into Metachamp, but I don't know if he just doesn't have any fighting stab. Does he not have fighting stab? I can't tell. Either way, no, yeah, I don't know, but he didn't have the he never clicks it against his Ferrothorn, and Ferrothorn actually kills Metacham with it to himself. As we get spikes up, so pretty good stuff. And now we go. Coco comes in here to start terrorizing a little more. As we sack Pelipper to get the final bit of rain up. As we're gonna go into Swampert and click Sludge Wave on the incoming Tangrowth, and we do absolutely zero with this Sludge Wave. Obviously, if he was Fizz Def, that would be a different story. But he's obviously AV Spadef, so that's very, very bad. Luckily, we actually died at Giga Jared from there. It would have been sort of iffy. It would have been dicey if we didn't. But so now we can just fire off Hurricanes here. As we do a lot, but we fail to kill. He's gonna get the Leaf Storm chip as we just kill him with Sludge Wave. So now it's just down by 2 Pokemon. Chinchino is looking like it really can't win because we got the rain in the back as Jared makes a questionable play and goes for Guardian of Alola. As he doesn't go for T-Bolt, we kill him. I guess he wanted to hit the Swampert to put in range of moves from from Chinchino, maybe. But either way, yeah, we kill it. So Chinchino comes in here and it actually outspeeds us. So we're like, oh, I guess so obviously it's Scarf Chinchino, which is like unfortunate. I guess for some reason we thought we outsped Scarf Chinchino with Swampert, and we're just gonna die to Bullet Seed. So we give up a point of differential for realistically no reason. And then we go into this thing and we kill him. So I don't know if that poison really mattered because we had Play Rough, and I'm pretty sure that just kills from 56 because it's a Chinchino. But the poison was obviously very unfortunate. And it made the Chinchino a little harder to play around for Jared. But we win. So now it's 2-3. Slowly, ever so slowly catching up. We have 2 more players to play. We have Jack and Genius X. So if they can both win, we win the last 3 games and we win the series 4-3. So let's see if it happens, folks. I'm going to pause and be right back. And bada bing, bada boom, we are back. And we have Genius X versus Ice Demon Gray. As yeah, I can go over generally what the 6 we have. It's a Zard Y team. Very meta breaking for a lot of teams, and in this case, he doesn't have a great way to respond to Zard Y. Not to mention Kartana. Once Ferrothorn dies, delicious. So yeah, we have Sub Roost Zard Y with Solar Beam. Normal fitty stuff really. Rindleberry Crocodile. For I guess just grass moves from I guess Ferrothorn. He might have had another grass type, I forget honestly, but we're Rindleberry nonetheless. Heat proof Bronzong for I guess for Flare Blitzing Infernape. Not to mention if we get burned, we take a lot. We take very little from Will-O-Wisp Burn if that does happen. And we are Colberberry, so we could take a dark move potentially from Pokemon such as Persian. And to our Stealth Rocker, and with HP Fire, we can hit the Ferrothorn pretty hard with the Sun Up. We're Assault Vest, Zero Aura, take a Psychic from the Zamu, we can hit pretty hard. Takes a hit from, it realistically does wall the Rotom if we don't get burned, but obviously we can't get burned. Otherwise, we're okay. And then Scarf Kartana for Alakazam, so yeah, let's just get the game going. Realistically, the way to win is pretty obvious. As we go for just leave Bronzong straight away, get the Stealth Rocks up. We get crit immediately by Volt Switch with no lefties. That damage is permanent. As we actually make a juice play and we try to status the Defogger, which is understandable, but Stealth Rock was a better play in my opinion. As he gets his own stuff rock up, as we're actually gonna go for the substitute here, I believe. Do we? Yeah, we do go for the substitute, but Genius makes another questionable play. Doesn't Solar Beam immediately. He goes for Fire Blast. I understand the double might have been there, but into what realistically? Infernate maybe, but still. Anyways, we go into Finny now, as this does realistically hard check because Grass Knot doesn't do a lot to us if he does have it. So it is a free ass defog as the Rotom comes back in here. And Volt Switch is very, very pressuring against our entire team. So he understands that we're going to go Zero Aura as we actually just eat that for breakfast. As we're now going to knock off the Rotom's Rindleberry, but he pain splits and he's pretty much back to where he was at before. So this is a very unfortunate set of circumstances. And speaking of circumstances, these set of plays are very awkward as Ice goes and doubles into the Ferrothorn. We're going to go into the Charizard as he doubles into Rotom Wash. We can threaten this thing with Solar Beam, but we just switch as he fears that. We're going to attack here. He goes in the Ferrothorn on the Plasma Fist, so this is like a triple switch, I think, at this point. We do a lot to this thing, and then at this point, we're like, okay, fuck it, just have this Pokemon. We're going to knock off now to get rid of the item on the Ferrothorn, but he doubles again. He's going to double again in the Ferrothorn on the knockoff. We're very, very weakened, and I guess he thinks we don't have Fire Punch, but we do, and he is now dead. So we have a very weakened Zero Aura because of touching some spiky stuff, and now he's going to go into Alakazam. We have a Bronzong for this thing, and he traces our Heat Proof. He goes for Energy Ball and does literally 0. He has to fear the Gyro Ball, and he's going to switch. So now that we have all that in mind, once again, we're up 6-5. Yeah, very common trend throughout these last few games. But yeah, he's going to go hard Persian here, and we're just going to get a double into the Crocodile. Realistically, this is very awesome for us because this gives us a free knockoff, and we can just knock off whatever comes in here. Because, yeah, this is the Persian doesn't really do a lot, but he actually turned out to be Nasty Plot, and we actually double into Tapu Fini, which is it's questionable because he's good at Parting Shot if he's in a normal Persian set, and this doesn't really give you any momentum, I feel. But he does go for the Nasty Plot, and this is a very concerning play because, yeah, it's Nasty Plot in Persian, and if this has like Z move potential with Z Parting Shot, obviously, this could be a very big threat. But we predicted Thunderbolt with ease, and we didn't double back into Fini because according to Zing's calcs, we take this into Thunderbolt, but according to this right here, we definitely do not actually take Thunderbolt into Life Orb Dark Pulse at +2. And then we now go into Zero Aura, and we just click Plasma Fist to put this thing in range of Kartana's hits. But the thing is, we did that either way without sacking the Kartana. I mean, without sacking the Tapu Fini. So obviously that was the one of a couple of questionable plays made by Genius. So obviously, second to Fini is very unfortunate because now we're very prone to Infernate, we're prone to Landorus, and obviously having that option to Nature's Madness would have been quite nice as, yeah, we don't really kill this at +1 Leaf Blade. With +1 Leaf Blade, we're going to go to Bronzong, we could take a Fire Blast and take the 3% from the burn that I mentioned earlier, but we died Vacuum Wave now. Not like that really mattered, realistically, as long as he hit the moves. But yeah, now we go into Crocodile here, we're going to force this thing out. We can just pretend that we're Scarf, but we actually hard pursue because Genius does predict the switch, and obviously that damage is important because if we are able to, because we're able to hit this thing harder with Fire Blast, and it might put in range of Fire Blast depending on its spread. So it's good that we got that +2 damage off. It's totally understandable. I understand the play. So now but he goes into Lando, and he's gonna click Rock Polish here. At this point, it's like, wow, I think we're gonna lose. I think we're just straight up gonna lose right here. But we're gonna have to pick a couple of switch-ins as he predicts the rock move. It's actually Smackdown. We're gonna double right back into Charizard on this Earthquake or knockoff, as he actually decides to knock off, and then we're gonna double right back into Crocodile because you can't necessarily Ruse because it's +2 speed. And at this point, he's actually forced out because he's -2 as he knocks off us, and we're gonna knock off him, but he's no item. But that does a lot considering. So we crit the Rotom here. Not like that mattered. It was gonna take a lot of damage either way. As yeah, Zing makes a good play. He pain splits, and he's gonna click the Solar Beam finally. He should have clicked it earlier, personally, but it works. As now he's gonna go to the Alakazam, and we're just gonna sack this Pokemon here because we don't have another play in the matter. But now Kartana's here, and it's free to realistically 2 KO a Pokemon of Leaf Blade. Landers can come in here. It can drop our attack 1 stage, and it's still gonna get 2 KO. The knockoff damage from Miller definitely showed that Leaf Blade would 2 KO. Nonetheless, we get our crit. We already got 1 crit. We're probably not going to get another one if it comes down to it. And speaking of comes down to it, this is going to be a very, very tricky situation because we got to go hard crocodile. He's going to click the vacuum wave almost definitely. It does 39, and for some reason Ice doesn't want to risk the roll. I guess the roll was less likely to hit in the Fire Blast, so he's going to go for Fire Blast and he misses. And that's very bad for Ice because we're going to Earthquake here, and then the Alakazam is going to die to Scarf Leaf Blade, and he's going to lose 1-0 because of a miss, which is very unfortunate. But that's not actually what happens. We click Pursuit here. And the situation and reasoning behind this was I should have realized that, for one, we're not a max physically offensive Crocodile. So Earthquake wouldn't kill Mega Alakazam, and he knows that we're not Jewel Scarf. Or he might assume we are, because I don't think we've clicked more than one move in here. But assuming he thinks we're not Scarf, he can go into Zam, take the Earthquake, and then he can just kill us. And then Kartana would not be able to kill Infernape, and then we would lose. At least it wouldn't be able to click a move that can kill both Alakazam and Infernape. So Genius was thinking that he would switch, and with the Pursuit damage, if he would have swapped, it would have put him in range of Leaf Blade once the Zam came in and killed us. But that doesn't naturally happen. He stays in here going for Fire Blast, and we Pursuit, and we look like a bunch of clowns, and now it's very bad because he's going to connect the next Fire Blast and we're going to lose, and we're going to lose this soon. No, we don't. We dodge another Fire Blast, but these are actively Earthquake here, and we kill the Infernape, and chat goes wild as he kills us with the Energy Ball. That's what Genius was expecting earlier. Ice goes for the Protect on the Leaf Blade, but it's going to get O-Code, and we win. We somehow win, and the game rewards us for making terrible plays, man. Oh my goodness. Like, the Pursuit play was understandable, and I do understand the concept, but like Earthquake did the same thing anyways, so I don't understand. I really don't. Because I think we had Sacred Sword on the Kartana, and Sacred Sword would be Zam would be in range of Sacred Sword, and then Ape would die. So Earthquake realistically did the same thing, but we got very lucky and dodged 2 Fire Blasts in a row, so yay, good for us. Obviously, double Vacuum Wave would have just done the same thing, but I sort of choked on that part. Personally, I don't know why he went for 2. I don't know why he didn't just go for Vacuum Wave again, personally. But we won, so let's just do the last game live. I'm gonna scroll looking for the replay. As yeah, this is the last yeah, this is the game to determine who fucking wins the series. It's gonna be between Jacko and Wombo, and yeah, this is a matchup that had us scratching our heads because yeah, Celis is a big threat for us. Nidoqueen we don't really have enough response to. Z Hydra eats our booty, and then Mega Gallade is just Mega Gallade, so it's 4 Pokemon that he brought already that are very threatening. For Bombi and Mesprit, not necessarily so. But the fact that he had the Tech Mesprit obviously means that he has some tech behind it, obviously. On paper, it definitely looks offensive. Just against our team, it makes a ton of sense. With like Thunderbolt and Psychic and Shadow Ball, I could definitely see it putting in a bunch of work. So it's understandable why he brought it. But let me see. I think I have the team here. Yeah. We got the SD3 Attack, Shadow Sneak, Gallade. We're I guess I don't know the rest of this shit. We have Coco with Thunderbolt, Ugly, Mutant Roost. Can't really touch Nidoqueen, but that's all right. Colbur, Slowbro to handle Gallade if it's not Leaf Blade. Metagross with Thunder Punch for Celesteela, and Mandibuzz with this combination of moves. This was I guess that was an example at the time, but basis of the whole team basically. Yeah, Nidoqueen's a big threat, but we can potentially handle it with the Mandibuzz, but obviously Electric Terrain Thunderbolt, if he does Rocket, which is what we expected, would do a lot of damage. So yeah, with that in mind, we're gonna lead with the Rose Raid, as he's gonna lead with the Nidoqueen. Very good favorable matchup for us, as we're gonna go for Sleep Powder. Yeah, Sleep Powder is pretty free because he has no Grass type. And the fact that we put the Celesteela to sleep is really, really sick. As Wombo's gonna make the aggressive play because obviously if we started stacking spikes, that would prevent us from doing so. As now we're gonna go into the Slowbro. He knocks off immediately, gets rid of our Colbur. This forces out the Gallade because we can have T-Wave as we actually go for it. So obviously Wombo makes the understandable play. But with the Rabombi paralyzed, obviously Pokemon like Mandibuzz now can outspeed it, Roseray can outspeed it, and even Gallade, which is good because obviously Moonblast would have sent Gallade packing, so it's just good. As now we're gonna go into Metagross here, gets parried, as Womble's gonna go into Celesteela. The good play would have, the cool play would have been going hard Thunder Punch, but we get Rocks Up, which is even better. And Thunder Punch is doing a tremendous amount, but I guess Jack predicted the switch into, I guess, Nidoqueen on the Thunder Punch, which is understandable. I probably might have done the same thing personally. Even Hydra would have been a decent switch in, but he continues to stay in here just to burn turns of sleep, which is unfortunate because if he would have Thunder Punch, this would have been very, very low. As we actually got max turns of sleep, and this is a roll to kill, but yeah, we don't kill because of the fact that we went for Meteor Mash earlier, as he's able to get Leech Seed off, so Jack's gonna expect to Protect here, as Protect was pretty obvious, as we're gonna go into Mandibuzz here, but if we're gonna expect Protect, I don't know why Mandibuzz is the play. If anything, you just go Coco or Gallade, and we or even Roseray, but I guess this is the good middle ground, but he's gonna continue to Protect as we go for Taunt, and it's not gonna work, but Womble's going to be able to switch here if he wants to, but does he actually switch? He doesn't actually switch. He predicts our switch, and he goes for Leech Seed again, so now it's still a Celesteela, which was at like 4%, is now at half. We go back into Mandibuzz, he goes for Protect, it's now at 55. He could choose to go for Protect again if he wants to, which he is going to, why not? So now the Celesteela is all the way back at 61, so a couple of misplays on Jack's part, honestly. Going hard Mandibuzz on the Celesteela when it was at 4% was a bit questionable, I won't lie. But we taught the Gallade, so there's no chance of it setting up, which is nice, as we're going to go for Foul Play. And luckily Nidoqueen has a good base physical attack, so we're able to basically 3KO it almost. So that's nice. And we can choose to stay in here if we want to, because obviously with no electric terrain up, he can't really, he can't Thunderbolt us for a lot of damage. As we actually are able to 3KO it with rolls, which is really cool. But yeah, Rabombi comes in here and gets the Sticky Web up, which is a little problematic because obviously Gallade and Tapu Koko don't appreciate having webs up on their side because they want to be fast against this team, especially as we get the attack boost, which is awesome. But this is a Z Hydra, and it can click a Z if it wants to. As Jack's gonna play pretty aggressive here, as he goes for sub, but Womble's not gonna just kill us with Z Dark Pulse. As I mean, it's unfortunate. We expected Z, and it just claims a kill, which is that's the thing. As Tapu Koko now comes in here, it's able to actually be a menace to Womble's entire team. But if this Nidoqueen is pinch buried, this could be a big problem, which it is. That is what we expected, so it's not like it's a huge surprise, and we get poison pointed, so this is a good thing for Mandibuzz because that means we are able to get really blasted by Electric Terrain Thunderbolt if he does have it. But he actually has Taunt Nidoqueen for our Mandibuzz, and that's really unfortunate. But his set looks to be very whack, as obviously he had Stealth Rock, Taunt, and Toxic. As Roseray's gonna go for Empower, it's not super effective on Celesteela. I'm not sure what it is actually, I forgot. But it's not Hidden Power Fire, obviously. We go for E-Terrain on the Celesteela. Obviously it would have worked in Terrain because it's floating, so it's not a bad play. But Womble makes a very good play and goes hard Gallade on the Sleep Item, which is like very good. But yeah, he goes for Knockoff, and we go for Foul Play and knock out that Gallade, so we're looking good now. We're up 5-4. If we were up 6-5 earlier, and I didn't know, I'm sorry. As the Hydreigon goes for the Substitute, and that's a very big threat because we don't appreciate this Pokemon as in general. It was HP Ice. It's HP Ice. You're welcome, guys. HP Ice says we take Dark Pulls very well, and we kill off the Hydra. So now we're up 5-3 with Mesprit, Celesteela, and Nidoqueen remaining. Nidoqueen comes in here, which is interesting, and he reveals that his move is Earthquake. So it's like Earthquake, Toxic, Taunt, Stealth Rock, which is actually not a bad set. That's what we're saying. But we now know Slowbro, basically hard walls. We go for Skull, and we kill the Celesteela. So realistically, the only Pokemon in our way is now Mesprit, and we have to find out what this Tech Mesprit is going to do, and if we can handle it, we are going to be okay. As he crit Thunderbolt us, but we're actually going to outspeed here with the Defog because he goes for the Trick Room, which is very interesting. So he probably he was probably slower than us. Yeah, he was Web's Trick Room, which is very interesting. But we got to take the hit with Coco, and we go for Thunderbolt, and that should be in range of Shadow Sneak. That's probably all he was going for. Blade comes in here, and we're just going to click the Shadow Sneak, and we kill it. And then he's going to go into his Nidoqueen, and Nidoqueen can't really OHKO us because it looks to be very, very bulky. We're just going to go for SD, stall out the Trick Room. We go for Knockoff, and we actually don't kill. We get Poison Pointed. but we lived up poison and we're just gonna go for double knockoff. Actually, no, Shadow's taking Kiskia. The fifth move, Sucker Punch, came out. That's going to be GG, well played. Team Zero Fox Given is able to beat Team EVO, Jerry, whatever it's called. So yeah, we come back from a 3-1 lead. They call us the 2016 Cavaliers, dude, and we win the series. So that's pretty badass, I won't lie. We were able to come back from pretty big deficit. Not that our opponents who lost play bad. It's just a couple things just don't go our way, and this is the type of competitive league where when little things like that just start doing bad stuff, it's like, ooh, it's gonna be a little tricky. But yeah, we won. For those who stuck around for this long, thank you. Thank you for watching. Yeah, it was a very interesting week, and now obviously we are in currently week 2, and we are trying to win the shit. I play Moran for Moran week 2. That should be very interesting because good prepper and pretty good battler. So I'm interested to see how we're able to do against him. So yeah, that's all for me. I'll be uploading next week, hopefully. Obviously, God willing, with this channel, but yeah, we'll see what happens. So yeah, that's all for me. So au revoir, peace.